I'm definitely interested in more of like the behind the scenes work, like being a director or someone that can have their like creative influence in films.
I like being part of the writing portion, so probably a screenwriter or just, someone coming up with the general concept of what the film is going to be about.
I want to be a director because I like being involved with like the whole process.
I kind of want to become a director and sort of an animator.
I want to direct mostly.
I'm more interested in the screenwriting.
I want to be more on the business side, so like producing of filmmaking.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Cook and I'm a cinematographer. I became interested in filmmaking when I was in high school. I took a film photography class in that school, and I did that for a couple years, and I started watching a lot of behind the scenes special features and like watching what sets, like big sets, look like, and I just had an urge to work on big sets. I couldn't think of anything else that I really wanted to do before I figured out I wanted to work in movies.
Hi, I'm April Keegan, and my major is a Bachelor of Arts in Visual Media Filmmaking.
You know what I mean? Then it's not like you have a great...
Your Bluetooth and while you're driving, and I'm getting that.
See, I like it on my,
My initial major here at Nevada State was biochemistry. The reason why I changed was I took a course in summer, a film course online with Dr. Adam Davis, and I kind of fell in love with film, or he helped me fall in love with film. At the same time, I also was watching a lot of TV in the midst of lots of homework that kind of inspired me to want to find out more about it.
I chose to pursue being a DP because I love the camera. I love the way cameras work. I love the theory behind them. I started out in photography and learning how to develop film, learning how to compose shots, how to expose properly, how to frame shots.
A little about A.R. Kagan, why I chose that as my filmmaking name. The reason why is I initially did that was because it has to do with being a female. I wanted people to see what I make before they judge that I'm a female. But there is a lot of female writers that do that. There is some female directors that do the same. So yeah, it's a little bit scary being out there because I don't want to just be thrown away because I'm a female.
In a professional camera department, the cameras are heavy. The equipment is expensive. And you need to be able to last physically for hours. Our normal working day is 12 hours minimum. So I've been on sets for, 14, 16, 18 hours a day. You need to be able to keep up with the guys.
If it's hard for men to do this, if it's hard for the big name directors to do this that are male, that we all know their work, it's a lot harder for women to raise the same money, to make their same projects. So unfortunately, we have not yet really seen very many women participate as filmmakers in the big franchises.
Do women have the same opportunity to become directors as men do in this industry? No. I think it's like
statistically proven that women don't get those opportunities as equally as men do.
I think women and men have equal abilities. When I think about like their belief in their abilities, I think that there might be a little bit of a disparity there. I think it's the belief in your abilities that determines how many opportunities you have.
Well, there are a number of positions in Hollywood that have been sort of traditionally filled by women, or in which there are more women, such as producers, casting directors, certainly makeup, wardrobe, those kinds of things. There are opportunities for women that have existed in Hollywood for a number of years. However, what we really want to see and what we really need to see is women driving more of these films and being entrusted with these big budget films that are Hollywood's bread and butter.
We need to band together as females and women in film and say, I have a friend who is this woman director who is amazing, who's brilliant, and she can do this.
I think when that happens, then we're really going to see much more a shift as female filmmakers become more accepted in that respect, and not simply as creating smaller films that are sometimes considered as, sort of women's films.
Alice Guy Blanchet was one of those early pioneers, maybe the earliest pioneer, not only male and female, but just of humans and artists working in film regardless. Her first film was in 1896, and this was about less than a year after being a secretary for Leon Gaumont, who was one of the first producers of movies in history. She had worked as a secretary and asked if she could be given permission, perhaps after work and on weekends, to make her own movies, and she was allowed that. In 1896, the Cabbage Fairy, which is possibly the first narrative film, it's less than a minute long, was made, and was made by her. Lois Weber, like D.W. Griffith, an American artist with her own vision, making movies in the 1920s, having to do with social issues. Lois Weber was a director. She also wrote scenarios. She was part of the progressive movement among women. And she tackled the social issues, particularly of the late 1910s, just before 1920, the era of World War I and just thereafter. Once again, she also headed her own studio and became one of the very first people, again, male or female, even to do that. Frances Marion, arguably the greatest, at least to date, in American movies, screenwriter. Frances Marion would be the first person in movie history to win 2 Academy Awards. And they would both be as a screenwriter. This was an era at the very start of movies that women were helping to form and shape.
There aren't enough women who feel like they can have the same opportunities as men. And many organizations have developed nonprofits, etc., that are trying to change that. We certainly are trying to change that. I'm very passionate about changing the climate for women, especially in the film industry. 75% of the women that I teach have vision of going into film. But every year I have more women who are passionate about this, and I make sure they have every opportunity to experience it, to get into internships, to take advantage when we have film opportunities on campus, to work at the campus news station, things like that.
I wanted to do something to support the female students, and this started as a film club at CSN and a women's film club. And from there, it actually grew and became a full-fledged, I could say, international film festival at this point, because we have films from all over the world now, and it's very exciting. But this is a real problem. Women really need to be supported. Women filmmakers really need to be supported. The film festival is a great outlet for them to showcase their work.
It has to be left hand. So then if you cross that. Happy is a short film that I wrote. It wasn't initially the film that I was going to write for a project in school. It came off of a what if question, which is generally what a lot of short films come off of. For me, writing this, the initial what if question actually centered around what if a clown in a circus was just madly in love, and this clown happened to have social anxieties, and also how far someone would go for their love for someone, especially when they don't know how to communicate it in the correct fashions or what we label as normal. So Happy was very ambitious for me. It's my second full-length short film.
I've worked on a couple music videos as a DP, a lot of them as a camera operator. The documentary I worked on, I was the DP and the director for. Now, working as a working production person in Las Vegas, I'm getting more jobs as a camera assistant. Pulling focus, building the camera, making sure it's working, just being in charge of the camera. That's what I've been getting most of my work from, which is great because you can kind of watch other people work. And the crazy thing about the film industry and being a DP is that if you're on set as the DP, there's only one of you.
My advice for young girls and young women who want to be a filmmaker is to go out and practice the craft.
You just have to be passionate. It has to be the first thing you think about, when you wake up, and the last thing you think about when you go to sleep.
To not be deterred by the fact that there are less of us out there, working in the industry, to be encouraged, because the ones that are out there want you.
Go for it. Do it.
My advice to them would be, go for it. Follow your passion, follow your dreams.
It's just believe in yourself and be confident in your skill.
Really learn how to juggle and give everyone their time. And then hopefully they'll give you time to do what you love.
Go for it. The industry is becoming more open and looking for more unique voices. I think women can really provide a lot of those.
Focus. Are you a writer? Visual storyteller? Do you love the art of the craft of cinematography? Figure out your niche and focus on it.
But good luck. It's hard, but you can do it. It's doable. It's just really hard.